I saw people on Twitter calling for companies like Disney and others to pull out of Florida
Yeah.
you have the story.
Yes.
Disney censors same-sex affection in Pixar films, according to a letter from employees. Oh, this is different from what I saw.
Oh,
I
okay.
saw the public calling for certain companies to punish Florida for this recent bill that's going on. But anyway, of course, that's what's going on. That's how social media works. It's very divisive. Not all the time, but you have this topic has some pretty strong support and some pretty strong resistance.
Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth. Disney being part of Florida,
Yes.
Disney World.
Disney World.
And Pixar films, I think under Disney, there seems to be a big LGBTQ community there in the Pixar industry or Pixar company.
Okay.
And they actually called out the CEO of Disney, Bob Chapek.
Okay, so this is employees at the company that are signing some type of petition.
Mm-hmm.
In a statement attributed to the LGBTQIA+, that keeps getting bigger, doesn't it?
Sure does, yeah.
Employees of Pixar and their allies obtained by Variety, employees of the animation studio allege that Disney corporate executives have demanded cuts from nearly every moment of gay affection, regardless of when there's protest from both the creative teams and executive. So presumably these things have existed in Pixar films, and then it gets to the higher ups, and then they end up cutting it out.
They're cutting it out now. There's certain scenes in Pixar movies that need to be edited out for worldwide release.
Oh, for different regions.
Yeah.
The stunning claim is part of a wider reaction to the company-wide memo sent to Disney employees by CEO Bob Chapek on Monday regarding its response to the recently passed... Oh, so it does have to do with the legislation in Florida. Mm-hmm. According to the Pixar letter, the claim is at odds with the employees' experience of trying to create content. Okay, so trying to create content. So I don't think it ever made it into any of these films.
There were a few examples here.
Oh, okay.
The 2020 fantasy film Onward, which features a Cyclops police officer named Spectre, which is a woman. And she said that, let me see.
It's not easy being a new parent. My girlfriend's daughter got me pulling my hair out, okay? But the movie was banned in Kuwait, Oman, Qatar. Well, is this really hard to understand? Is this really all that complicated? Yeah, Disney wants the movie absolutely everywhere. Mm-hmm. And they make business decisions that I guess are at odds with people's values. Yeah. But it's not surprising. Kuwait,
sure.
The same year, Pixar released a short film Out on Disney Plus about a gay man who struggles with coming out to his parents. The latest Pixar animated feature, Turning Red, debuts on Disney Plus on March 11th.
Yeah, which is weird. I believe that it's a bit weird if they cut it for American release.
Well, but I don't think that's what they're stating here, is it? And now maybe
that's what the title states.
Disney censors. Well, no, it doesn't say that. Disney censors same-sex affection for Pixar films.
But will they eventually? Based on this bill in Florida.
I think you're allowed. Oh, I don't think that bill in Florida affects. Well, I guess it would. I mean, it could influence their decisions as far as, but that's so hard to figure out, right? Like, which decision is creative? Which decision is business? Which decision is regional? Which decision, it might be easier for them to cut it out if they are interested in global release and if they look at their economics and they say, well, China represents this and
sure, yeah,
this region represents that. And so it's a lot of factors that are going into this decision-making process. It's not as simple as It's not as simple as groups want it to be. They want it to be simple and say, well, too bad, so sad, screw the places or regions or people that don't like a certain thing. But it's just that point of view is lacking some degree of consideration, or it's a very kind of confrontational point of view. Now, there are plenty of things that people believe in that they are willing to fight for, and that's completely within people's rights as well to make a case for that. And it's also completely within people's rights to start their own animation company and tell any stories they want without being under the thumb or control of companies like Disney as well.
It is unfortunate that these films are censored in other regions because Pixar is known to be very liberal and freeing of many.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay, so I've seen Pixar films.
Like Toy Story, for
But what
example.
about what happened in Toy Story?
Like, who would watch that and be like, I'm offended? Compared to like many other movies that's out there. It seems like it's the most minimal in terms of offending anyone.
I know, but the argument here is...
But yet they still have to make hard decisions like these. You can't escape it.
I know, but I think this call is actually the opposite of that. They're saying that Disney should take a chance on edgier stuff. And by edgier, I don't... Okay, maybe that's the wrong terminology, but that Disney should take a stand on certain topics, even if people don't like it or disagree. That Disney is too generic. They're too safe. They're too Toy Story.
Sure.
That's the actual argument. So, but it's tough, man. It's where else can you place these demands onto companies? And what if people said McDonald's isn't doing enough for this group or that group? It's a very difficult thing to police. It ends up being up to Disney, and Disney has to figure out the benefits and drawbacks from their perspective, whatever their beliefs happen to be at the top of it, and also whatever approach they have to a business and their strategy around release and managing the variety of regions they hope to get into. Like, that's actually what's going on. And then employees are going to have to decide if they don't like those decisions. They're going to have to decide what they're going to do about it, whether it's striking or quitting or, like I said, or
starting up their own
or
studio.
Attempting to work for a group that they feel that they are. Now, it's tough to say that because Disney's a powerhouse, cultural powerhouse. So I think probably the approach here is seen as the more potentially effective one to force Disney to change, as opposed to the alternative, which is a very daunting or what would you say, like really ambitious thing to try to produce a piece of content that would be so good without the machine of Disney that it would somehow get in front of people. I mean, it's harder than ever to get something in front of people in the current media landscape. So it'll come down to numbers, man. It'll come down to numbers within Disney and what the beliefs and what the position of employees within Disney is.
The bottom line.
It'll come down to the bottom line.
Yeah.
And
I hear you.
And they're going to have to... It's hard to even know your own company, right? When you're at that scale, to know, okay, how badly do we have to do this? Like, how many people want us to tell this other story? Or how many people here don't want us to do that kind of thing? And this happens in once groups get large enough, this happens. You get groups inside of groups.
Yeah.
That's inevitable.
Group politics.
Good luck to all parties involved.
Oh, this is not working. Okay, here we go.
Apple CEO Tim Cook slams deeply. Oh, yes, I saw his tweet.
Yeah, this will be the end of the Don't Say Gay bill. There's a whole section, but
Where
there's a
does that?
last
Where?
story.
What is that? Don't. It's not.
It's the bill.
It's not called that.
Are you sure?
Well, I thought I read.
Maybe that's just the way that, like, it's easier to digest.
Uh,
I almost feel like it was. No.
I don't know. It seems like they've the measure dubbed. So I don't
Dubbed.
know who called it that. I believe the official name of the bill, the Parental Rights and Education Bill. But anyway, okay.
Right. You're right.